You've just viewed 4 classroom videos that focused on the items within Environment A, the equitable learning environment. Learners were engaged in classroom discussions and different types of activities that met specific learning needs. Students had equal access to various opportunities and resources that supported their learning. Classroom climates reflected fair treatment towards all students. Learning environments consisted of focused attention on understanding and appreciating the differences of others. Watch the video as we summarize Environment A.
We have been talking some about geometry, and we're going to move kind of to the next part of our geometry unit, and we're going to be talking about dividing shapes and dividing other objects. And this is what you may have heard older brothers and sisters, parents talk about fractions. How many of you have heard or talked about fractions before? Okay, great. You can put your hands down. We won't be going into a whole lot of that today. Mainly, we're just going to be talking about dividing things into groups equally. I want you to take a look up here at our learning targets for today. Who will read learning target number 1 for me? Ben, would you read that?
Learning targets number 1. I can divide a group of objects equally.
All right, what word do you think might be an important word in that learning target, Jack?
Equally.
Equally, good. What's another thing that's going to be important in that learning target, Anina?
Divide.
Divide. All right, so I can divide and equally. Did you think something else up there was important?
Oh, I'm sorry.
My active board. Oh. Let me get up there.
A group.
All right, might be group. Okay. A group of objects, or divide and then equally. All right, look at learning target number 2. Anina, can you read that one for us?
I can divide a geometric shape into 2 or more equal parts.
All right, who can tell me an important word in that learning target?
Geometric.
Geometric, okay, because we've been when we talk about geometric shapes or geometry, that's something that we've been going over, so we're going to look at dividing shapes equally. Maya, what's another important part of that learning target? Shape, okay. Elena, what do you think is going to be another important word in that?
More.
Could be. All right, what do you think, Luke?
Equal.
Equal, all right. I want us really to focus on divide and equal. That's what we're really going to be looking at today, dividing things and dividing them equally. Who has ever had to share something with another person before? Sarah Beth, can you tell us about that?
You have to, sometimes you only have, like, one thing,
You only have one thing.
and you have to cut it.
Oh, and you have to cut it. Okay, so can you tell us what that one thing was that you had to share? A cookie. How did you, and you cut the cookie into 2 pieces? Okay. Can somebody else tell me about something that you've had to share before? Charlie,
I've had to share my birthday cake.
how did you share that?
My mom, she left the middle for me because it said Charlie, and then she
Okay.
cut the rest.
So you cut the rest of it into equal parts?
Yeah.
All right. Can somebody tell me something else that you've had to share? Great.
Well, right now I have to share toothpaste with my sister.
You have to share a
Toothpaste.
toothpaste. All right. How do you all share the toothpaste?
Well, I have to go into her room every morning and get the toothpaste.
Oh, okay. So you have to go someplace to get something different. All right. And Anina,
A candy.
you have to share a candy. How do you share the candy?
Well, I shared it with Violet, and she tried to split it in half, and then she just cracked it open.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, now you have a partner that you're sitting with, and I'm going to give you a bag of crayons. Miss Blunt and I will pass those out to you. And when you get a bag of crayons, they're going to have a certain number in there. And I want you and your partner to divide them up, and then I want you to tell me afterwards how you went about dividing your crayons.
One person in the partnership, raise your hand, please. Just one person in the partnership.
Right. You might want to turn and face your partner for this so that you can make sure that your crayons don't get mixed up with another group's.
What color do you want? I picked this one.
What did you do to share
This one. I tried to get this one.
What did you do?
Then we can go like, so you have to, I have to, you have to, I have to, but then we get to the same thing, then I get one, then we each have the same amount again. That's 5. There might be a different way.
Just spread them out like
That and then just count out 5.
2,
4, 6, 8.
Lucy and Carly, what did you all do?
Then we'll try to divide them by.
We saw 4, so we divided this.
So you went ahead, you saw the total number, and then you got half of 8, which is how many?
4 plus 4.
Okay, so you were using some subtraction and some addition in there. What did you do something different?
Yeah. We gave 3 to each other, and then we got 6. Like put 2 to the side, so we know those.
Okay.
3 to each other. We can just count out 4.
Great. All right, boys and girls, I've listened to some people share, but I haven't gotten a chance to get to everybody. But could I ask you to please put your crayons back into your bag? And I'm going to put this red tub right here on the sun. If you would pass your bag of crayons to Ben and to Charlie, they can put those up. Put those away for me, please.
You have just observed the beginning of a math lesson where the students had to divide shapes equally. Students began by listening to the teacher's direct instruction and responded to the questions asked. The activity of dividing the crayons equally engaged the students in a way to help them make sense of the learning. Students transitioned from the listening mode to a partner activity. Although students received the same content, the activity varied as they went from a listening and responding mode to an activity that engaged them with a partner. Therefore, A1 would be rated as very evident. Did you also notice a pair of students who received additional support from one of their teachers? A2 is rated very evident because all of the students had equal access to the partner activity. A3 would be rated very evident because it was clear to see and hear students being recognized by their teacher as they confidently talked about their individual home experiences that pertained to sharing. A4 is rated not evident because authentic demonstration of this item was not observed. Students talked about ways in which they shared at home, yet the depth of the shared experiences by the students was very simple. Although students were respectful of each other during the partner activity, there was no opportunity for students to demonstrate empathy or appreciation for the differences of others. Remember, when observing the equitable learning environment, look for students to be engaged in differentiated learning opportunities. Do they have equal access to classroom discussions, activities, resources, technology, and support? How does the student demonstrate he or she is treated in a fair, clear, and consistent manner? Are the learners recognized by their teachers and peers? Do they demonstrate self-confidence and voice their experiences, opinions, and ideas? And finally, how are students demonstrating empathy, respect, and appreciation for the differences of other people?